Greetings, one and all. Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another one of my Richard's Rock Rambles. And today we're going to have a look at another box set. It'll be the last box set in this whole box set section that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. And this particular artist I have mentioned previously. I think about 2 years ago I did a sort of a cross-section of what he'd done and the albums that he'd recorded and what have you. And I spoke about this box set, but just fleetingly at the end of the video. So I thought it was worth checking out again. So I'm talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yes, the late great Stevie Ray Vaughan, the guy who resurrected blues in the 80s, hung around until the 91, sadly passed away, lost his life in a very serious helicopter accident. Just the worst luck imaginable. I think he'd just come off a really great concert together with Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton and a whole bunch of others. And yeah, that was it. His time was up, unfortunately. Such a prodigious talent. Lots of parallels for me with Jimi Hendrix. I mean, he did play some of Hendrix's stuff and pulled it off brilliantly. But if you think about old Jimmy, 3 studio albums, and he was done. I mean, obviously lots of stuff after he passed away, and there was also the live stuff. Stevie Ray Vaughan, 4 studio albums, and that was his lot. And funnily enough, his last one, In Step, was a sort of a comeback album because he'd been fighting, he had his own demons with alcohol and what have you, and he'd just come right, cleaned himself up, was on a tour, everything was looking rosy, his album was amazing, sounded great. And as fate would have it, that would be his last album. So yeah, very similar sort of careers, if you like, or paths that they tread, very similar. So the box set that we're chatting about is called Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, the box set, 3 CDs plus 1 DVD, over 4 hours of music. And that's the one there. So a lot of these box sets that I've been chatting about over the past few weeks may not still be available. Some of them were limited editions. But if you really want to check out, go onto Discogs, go onto Amazon, what have you, just Google it. I'm sure some of them are still in print. I think this one is still in print. I stand to be corrected. But there's a heck of a lot of stuff on here, as you can see at the back there. 3 CDs plus the DVD. Sorry, some of this writing is pretty small, so... there's a lot of great live stuff on the DVD, music videos plus live concerts, and I think there might even there's an interactive menu and DVD videography. I think there's a few interviews as well, lots of previously unreleased stuff on here. Some have been released already. So let's just check here on the first disc. Well, mind you, let's just have a look on the inside and see what I can show you. It's a really nice DVD box set, CD, DVD box set. There we go. There's Stevie with his trademark hat. And those are 2 of the CDs there. And if you go at the back, the top is the 3rd CD, and there's the DVD. So yeah, his trademark look. To me, that's the one thing about an artist that makes you stand out from everybody else is you have your own sound. Stevie Ray Vaughan had his own sound. He had his own look. He wasn't really a guy for the limelight. He just he let the music talk. Pretty much like Hendrix, another parallel. And yeah, just gone way too soon. I can't remember how old he was, but he wasn't, he was in his 20s, maybe 30s. Yeah, just really sad. So there he is in all his glory with his hat. And there's an early shot where he used to wear that sort of peak cap and that classic Fender Strat with a Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's another shot inside, I'll show you now, with all the guitars. There we go. There's that well-worn guitar of his. And I'm not too sure if that's in a museum somewhere or if it's in a Hard Rock Cafe or if one of the other guitarists like Joe Bonamassa has got his hands on it. I know Joe's got his hands on many other famous guitars like the one that Rory Gallagher played, and I think Bernie Marsden's Rory Gallagher, Joe Bonamassa also has. So here it tells you the contents, what's in each CD and DVD, the credits, the chart history, and there we go through each and every track, and there's some really standout tracks on here. How's that headstock there? Well worn. Excuse me, it's really early here, very cold, still winter here, so I'm having my coffee. I've just taken the dog for a walk. If I look a bit flushed, it's like the bloody Arctic outside here. You wouldn't think this is Cape Town, South Africa, but anyway. So you got stuff like Thunderbird, and that was with the Nightcaps. This is previously unreleased stuff. That was his early band. Come On, that's a well-known track. Letter to My Girlfriend, Lenny, that famous instrumental, which was an ode to, I think, his girlfriend at the time, or his wife. Love Struck Baby, Pride and Joy. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. There's a track with Johnny Copeland with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Then you get disc 2, Scuttle Button, Couldn't Stand the Weather, the title track from his second album. And it tells you who produced it and when it was released, what the dates. Empty Arms. There's a great early shot with Stevie Ray Vaughan and a lady called Lou Ann Barton, who I think sang with his band back in the day. Boilermaker, Change It, The Sky Is Crying Live, another great track. There's a great track with Lonnie Mack, who used to play that Flying V. I think Lonnie Mack actually produced an album with Stevie Ray Vaughan, or they released one together. Strike Like Lightning, I think it was called. The track is If You Have to Know. There's one with AC Reed, These Blues Is Killing Me. Lots of guests on this box set here. Dirty Pool, Going Down, Live, Rude Mood, Pride and Joy, one of my favorite Stevie Ray Vaughan tracks. Testify. There's another shot of, tells you all about it. I just want to see if there's any more. There he is in the studio. He was another man who loved working in the studio. And there he is playing behind his back. How's that cool shot? He knew all the tricks. I mean, if you ever want to check out, I did mention in my previous video, Live at the El Macombo, the early part of his career. Blistering set. Played behind his head, played behind his back, played with his teeth. Did all the Hendrix moves, but it was still Stevie Ray Vaughan. I can't explain. He borrowed, but he had his own style. Very cool guy. No rock star persona or anything. Very down to earth, which is another cool thing about him. And here he is with Tommy Shannon on bass in the middle and Chris Layton on drums on the left there. That was the original lineup of the band. Excellent drummer Chris Layton, Tommy Shannon. Brilliant bassist, played with Johnny Winter, amongst others. That's them having a kip there, probably after a heavy gig. And there's a cool shot of old Stevie Ray. He actually lost quite a bit of hair at the top. I think that's probably why he wore a hat all the time. He was a bit self-conscious about that. There's another shot with the shades. And there's so much info in here that tell you all about it, and you know, his drink problems and what happened in the end with the helicopter crash and what have you. Here's a cool shot with him winking. Really nice guy. There we go. You can see his hair at the top there was thinning out. That's his beat up Strat. That thing's seen some serious miles. And there he is with Buddy Guy. They were big fans of each other's music and work, and they played together a number of occasions. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I can show you. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of photographs inside. All sorts of poses and what have you throughout his career. All these different, he had great facial expressions. You know, like Robin Trower has, when he does all that gurning with his mouth when he plays. Stevie Ray Vaughan was no different. But he could play. I mean, the man played with so much feel as well. That's what I loved about Stevie Ray Vaughan. He wasn't just flashy. You know, you felt each and every note that this guy played. And that's his brother there. That's Jimmy Vaughan. Still alive today, of course. Jimmy Vaughan had his band called the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and they actually did an album together. I think it was called Family Style. That's what it was called. Oh, the old memory still works, eh? There's another early shot of him with his peak cap. This is really in one of my better box sets that I've got. It's got some really cool. There's a nice shot with him and Johnny Winter, man I mentioned earlier, who had Tommy Shannon as his bassist. So yeah, this is really worth checking out. I think it is still in print. So many pages. There's like, lots of photographs. So let's see if there's anything else I can finally show you. There's a nice shot of him there playing his Strat. Yeah, iconic Fender Strat. And there they give you a breakdown of all the albums. Couldn't Stand the Weather. That's the live album there as well, which wasn't the best recording in the world, to be honest. And there's the rest of the discography that you can get. Some of the albums like Sky is Crying that was released after he passed. And there's the final shot with him and his brother. Very poignant shot there. So there we go, guys. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. The 3 CD plus 1 DVD box set. Must have if you're into really good blues. If you're a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan and you don't have this, it's worth getting just for a lot of the previously unreleased stuff. So that's it for the box sets for the moment. From next week onward, we're going to start looking at albums that have turned 40 in 2023. So 1983 releases, and I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you then. Cheers.